Stock Market Investing for Beginners, a crash course to generate passive income by using the best strategies and tips for day trading, options trading, and Forex trading. Written by David William. Narrated by Casey Richards. Notice: the content contained within this book may not be reproduced, duplicated, or transmitted without direct written permission from the author or the publisher. Under no circumstances will any blame or legal responsibility be held against the publisher or author for any damages, reparation, or monetary loss due to the information contained within this book, either directly or indirectly. Legal notice: this book is copyright protected. This book is only for personal use. You cannot amend, distribute, sell, use, quote, or paraphrase any part or the content within this book without the consent of the author or publisher. Disclaimer notice. Please note the information contained within this document is for educational and entertainment purposes only. All effort has been executed to present accurate, up-to-date, and reliable, complete information. No warranties of any kind are declared or implied. Readers acknowledge that the author is not engaging in the rendering of legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. Please consult a licensed professional before attempting any techniques outlined in this book. By reading this document, the reader agrees that under no circumstances is the author responsible for any losses, direct or indirect, which are incurred as a result of the use of the information contained within this document, including, but not limited to, errors, omissions, or inaccuracies. Introduction. Thank you for purchasing this book. If you are reading this, that's because you're serious about learning more about financial markets and investing in equities. I'm well aware of the vast amount of information out there, and it's not easy to sort through all of the fluff. Often, it's difficult finding the right sources of information on topics such as investing, and it can be intimidating to wade through all of the information. As such, this book is intended to help you gain a clear understanding of how financial markets work and, more importantly, how you can profit from them. There are many great opportunities out there to make money, but only if you know how to leverage the system in order to do so. Financial markets have been around for centuries. Early on, financial markets began as exchanges of commodities, mainly agricultural products, in which prices were negotiated in a formal setting, as opposed to a barter system in which negotiations were the result of transactions that occurred on the spot. This organized system, in which commodities were negotiated and traded, laid the basis for what would become our modern financial markets. As countries began growing their financial systems, national bonds were traded across various levels. For instance, a country could issue bonds to finance a war, and these bonds would be purchased by wealthy individuals who had connections to the governments issuing them. By the time the bonds and commodities had become established financial instruments, burgeoning capitalists sought ways of improving their wealth. This led to early investors purchasing shares of companies of all types. Eventually, capitalists began offering shares of their companies to be bought and sold publicly to earn more money. This gave birth to financial markets, in particular, the stock market. As you will see in this book, the stock market is one type of financial market. Thus far, we have already mentioned bonds and commodities as examples of financial instruments. In this book, we will focus specifically on stocks, which are part of the equities market. However, investors learned one very important situation from the start. Investing in financial markets is inherently risky. While you have the opportunity to make a reasonable sum of money, you also run the risk of losing everything, including the shirt off your back. In these pages, we will look at what it means to be a successful investor. Bear in mind that being a successful investor doesn't necessarily mean being the prototypical tycoon who drives exotic cars and flies helicopters as a hobby. Successful investors are folks who have been able to leverage financial markets to their advantage to maximize their investable capital. These are the folks who get rich through investing. In case you are wondering, the definition of rich varies widely, but there is one thing that virtually everyone agrees on. Being rich means that you can stop working right now and not miss a beat. So,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?